What's up guys, Samuel Leeds here, and in this week's video, I'm going to be interviewing a guy called Raybould, and he's 21, and I met him when he was 20, and he will never have to work again when he finishes university, just because he's began his journey in property, and a lot of people ask me about how do I start when I'm young, so I thought I'd just interview someone who's been successful or being successful at a young age. So John, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
You're looking great. You've recently had a haircut.
Yeah, it wasn't great before, but yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, awesome, bro. So listen, why don't you start off just by telling us a little bit about your background and how you stumbled into property or across me.
So I do history, so I'm going into my third year now of at University of Sheffield. I study history and politics. It was at the end of my first year that my dad bought a small development project, and he was interested in, or he basically said, you know, for a summer job, John, you're going to go and work on this. And I had no interest in property, that kind of thing at this point. I wanted to go on and do law. Now, from then on, I kind of thought, how can I help my dad by looking for renovation projects? You know, because he was getting a bit interested at this point. That's when I found your book. And that then sort of propelled me into the idea of renting. Now, my dad and me had never even thought about renting, never been in either of our minds.
So he was wanting to buy something, do it up, sell it.
Yeah,
and he was working a very old school, quite unprofitable method.
Yeah, definitely.
It was kind of like I fancy doing property, but he wasn't doing it professionally, really.
Completely.
So 20 years old, that was when we met.
Yes.
Which was like maybe 5 months ago, whatever it was.
Yes, yeah.
At that time, tell me a bit about your dad then. So your dad is doing property development on a very small scale, kind of aspiring to do.
Yes.
Lovely guy. But he was very skeptical about the crash course and all that, I think, was it?
Yes, yeah. So my dad had small projects going on. He works very hard, his full-time job, and he had small projects going on.
What's his full-time job?
He's a quantity surveyor. So he works in the building trade. So he's doing his full-time job, and he's trying to do small developments. And he basically felt that with regards to how things are going, we should finish the small developments and then maybe potentially have a look at HMOs. He didn't properly understand what they were and, you know, how profitable it is, that kind of thing. So from then on, it's basically been just not so much a problem or anything like that, but it's just been a progression, a challenge, if you will, pushing forward, getting him around to the idea.
Yeah.
And now,
because when we met, you were saying, my dad, he wants to do this close to home. He hates all these type of properties. He hates these strategies, and he was very set in his ways.
Yes.
And also, your dad, he's not like a super wealthy man or anything. He's working, but he had equity in the house.
Yes, yeah.
And stuff like that. So we spoke, and I said to you, my advice would be, and I think if you're a young person watching this could be for you too. Don't necessarily miss what's in front of your nose. Because it'd be very easy in your situation to be like, my dad's not really interested, my dad's got some equity and stuff, my dad's not really interested in this, I'm 20, I'm going to start from scratch, I'm going to find joint venture partners, I'm going to do lease option agreements. Definitely. But actually, we spoke and I said, get your dad on side.
Yes, definitely.
I remember. You did that?
Yes. I mean, my dad, once I'd explained the principles to him, and
you dragged him to a crash course.
Yeah, I got into a crash course. He went through it, and once he understood it much better, he knew how committed I was to the cause of doing it. He has been very, very supportive. So it has been like, you know.
And you don't even drive right now?
No, I don't drive at the minute.
So you're a student, you're living in a house share, you don't drive. How did you go from that? So, okay, having a dad who's a little bit interested in development and doing a few projects, but go from that, because lots of people have parents that have got equity. So, like some people might say to you, or people watching this video, oh, well, it's all right for you because you had a dad who had some equity, who gave you a helping hand. But the thing is, yes, that was a massive help, of course, but nobody's an island. I'm where I am because people have helped me. No one's got to where they're at completely independently of anyone. It's a case of saying, who can I possibly joint venture with, work with, who I can bring value to them, they can bring value to me, because a joint venture is when you both bring equal value to the table. So how did you get your dad on side, and how does that relationship look, and what value did you bring to him in order, because I know what happened, he's basically said to you, hasn't he, well, you've set up a business together, 50-50, he puts in the money, but you work really hard.
Yes, it's kind of...
Which is amazing!
It is. I mean, it's great working with my dad as well, because it's brought us a lot closer together. So it has been great in that kind of sense for our relationship. But I really enjoy working with him. I feel we both complement each other. I'm quite, I don't really see problems, I see them as challenges. And so I'm good at just pressing forward and being determined, that kind of thing. My dad is much better if there's problems between people, he's very good at sorting out confrontations, any kind of problems, what we might have with any kind of estate agents. So we both complement each other quite well.
Yeah.
So to anyone who's thinking of doing it at quite a young age, I would say, as you said, you've got to look at what's in front of you, use things to your advantage. So obviously my dad has a slight interest in development projects, and I've brought him on board and we're working together now and it's working well. But one of the ways, I know some people would say, well, it's all right for you, but you have to show an incredible amount, it's all right for you because your dad might have some equity in his house, that kind of thing, but you have to show incredible persistence to start with. You have to have a mindset that it's not a problem. Things are not problems, they are only challenges and they can be overcome.
Yeah.
So you've said things before about being an ant, where sort of if something's blocking your path, you either go over it, you gnaw your way through it, or you go under it. You don't let things stop you. So when you've got that kind of mindset, and especially this helped my dad come on side, when he could see that there were no problems, there were only challenges, and I would fight through them, then he became very supportive and thought, we can do this.
That's brilliant. And you know what though, when you have that kind of philosophy and that kind of I'm an ant, I'm going to get through this and I'm going to study, what happens is you suddenly start attracting people.
Definitely.
Whether that be your parents, whether that be family members, or you've got loads of people here wanting to do business with you.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So I think that's awesome, bro. So how do you, I know you're 21 now, so I'll say 21, but when we met you were 20. So how do you, at 21, if someone said to you, how do you get that fire in your belly? How do you get that desire and that passion and that confidence to really go for it? Because you've got multiple deals going through at the moment.
Yes.
Which is incredible. So how do you have the confidence and the mindset and the resilience to do that?
You just have to. You've got to have a reason why. So you said this before. You've got to. I think it was in your book as well. You've got to have that reason why. Now I want my dad to. He wants to potentially leave his job at some point. He wants to be financially secure. I want that for him. So he's given me a lot in life. So I would like to help him massively as much as I can. So that is one of my reasons why. I also want to set up a secure future for myself, which is obviously another reason why. And I feel that although university is a path, and it's a path a lot of people go down, and then they get a job and that kind of thing, that's great, but I would just prefer to do it another way. So for me, I would like that passive income.
Yeah.
I'm also really interested in charity work. So I'm very interested in, as you do in Africa, and obviously my trip to Uganda with you was amazing. So I'd be interested in doing charity work like that at some point, once I got a good flow of passive income. And
hopefully with less bed bugs.
Yeah, I hate bugs.
That was funny though.
Yes.
I wish I'd been there to see it. I was in the hospital, but Uganda was incredible.
Yes.
And then you ended up, we flew you out to South Africa.
Yes.
And you had a dinner with Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes, that was amazing.
Which basically consisted of a bunch of Academy members.
Yes.
A handful of other people. And Robert Kiyosaki and these other famous celebrities and investors.
Yes.
I mean, geez, how was that?
It was amazing. Got to ask him loads of good questions. It wasn't massively specific on certain things. So he was quite varied. So
Robert, you're talking about?
Robert, yeah. So Robert would discuss property quite a lot, which is obviously what we as property investors are very interested in. But we would discuss other things as well, his interests in small stock companies, companies. So it gave me an enlightened vision of, okay, there's property, which is what I want my foundation in.
Yeah.
And this is what he said. You have 95% of your wealth and assets in safe stocks or safe things, so property is his. And then he puts 5% in other things what are perhaps more volatile, but you can have massive gains.
Brilliant.
So it was amazing speaking to the man, finding out his philosophy, his reason why, but also his kind of basic strategies. He didn't go very massively deep into his specifics and mention his specific thing, companies and that, but learning his basic strategies and ways of doing
That's
things
awesome.
was amazing.
I mean, what do your university friends think? Knowing that you're there having dinner with Kiyosaki, buying multiple properties, you're set up to never have to work a day in your life. I mean, do they know?
I mean, some of them do. Some of them, I have spoken to some of them, and it's more some of them are very supportive, but it's a lack of understanding of exactly what I'm doing. I am just I'm doing something in property. It's not 100% understood exactly what. But people. I had a guy yesterday come up to me and say, I hear you're a property mogul and that kind of thing. Or it's nice that people actually recognise. But that's through your training, putting things on Facebook and sort of trying to build my own brand. People are starting to recognise a little bit. So it is good. People are supportive in the majority.
How do you deal with people who are unsupportive and people that say like, oh, that's silly, or who do you think you are, or I think you're arrogant, or people that hate rich people? I mean, how do you deal? Because I'm sure you've come across that.
Yes. So there is obviously that kind of element, but for me, it's people are going to have their own opinion. It's not down to me to change their opinion. They can have whatever opinion they want, as long as I don't let it stop me, and it won't stop me. I just keep ploughing on.
Yeah.
There are obviously going to be people who dislike what you're doing for whatever political reasons or anything like that, or whatever belief reasons. But as long as I'm true to myself and I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm doing it for the reasons, as I said in my reasons why, that benefit me and other people, then I'm completely fine with them not agreeing with me. I'll just go and do me effectively. I'll just keep going.
And when you joined the academy and we met at the crash course, I don't know if you remember me saying, but I said to you, look, your dad has got equity and you're planning on tapping into that.
Yes.
But whether he partners with you or not, you're going to be successful. Do you remember me saying that?
Yes.
And I said, there's going to be other people that have got money that you can tap into.
Yes.
Because when you become an attractive person, because you've got the skills, you've got the confidence, the knowledge, then things will come to you and you'll get joint venture partners. So I said, don't bank on your dad. But here's the funny thing. Your dad's done you a favour in one sense, but you've also done your dad a favour.
Yes.
Because your dad had all these ideas to invest in properties. He didn't really know he was doing that much. He was about to buy some not great properties.
Yes. Yeah.
And now you've come along and said, look, I've joined the academy. I've gone to the crash course. I've got a really good mentor. I know Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, here's how we can invest. So for him, even though he's only making 50% now, he's making 50% is still more than he would have made if he'd have invested himself in the bad properties, right?
Obviously, it builds our relationship, makes us, father and son relationship, makes it much stronger, which is good. But win-win in that, obviously, I can help him become financially free, and I can push myself and become financially free. So it's benefiting us both.
Yeah.
It's it's great. It's great that I've got my dad on board.
And he's an awesome guy.
Yeah,
he's here now with us
at
the program,
Yes.
and he supports you. It's so helpful to have family supporting you in what you do.
Yes.
I mean, I think that everybody in their situation, they've got some things for them, they've got some things against them. Some people watching this video say, well, I haven't got a dad with equity in my house. Fine, but what have you got?
Yeah.
That's what you had, and you dealt cards in life. And sometimes you dealt a good hand, sometimes you dealt a bad hand, but you just got to do the best you can do with your cards. And the fact that you've done that at like 20, 21, I think it's incredible. Why don't you just tell us a little bit? I mean, I know you're about to complete on a property this Friday.
Yes, yeah.
So tell me the figures of this property.
So the property we're completing on,
and you're very good at your market research.
Yes,
you're very good with numbers, pretty conservative. So just tell us where it is, what the figures are and stuff.
So property's in Burnley. It's we're buying the property for 76,000, and we're looking at probably a return of about 1,400.
So hold on.
A month.
So you're buying it for 76,000. Yeah. How on earth can you buy a house? And sometimes people don't believe me. That's why I have to go and record people 6 months after they've bought it just to prove it. But how can you buy a house for 76 grand and then rent it out for like £1,400 a month? That just doesn't make any sense.
It's obviously setting up as a HMO, letting out the rooms individually. We're looking for blue collar workers in this specific property. So people who might not have enough money at the minute to put down for a mortgage, and it's cheaper than getting a whole house themselves. So it benefits them, but it's also more profit for us. It's more profitable as a HMO.
And you bought it for 76. Are you confident that you'll be able to rent it out on a room by room basis?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a HMO manager in the area and everything like that. So everything's.
You've done your research. You've spoken to investors. You've spoken to multiple agents. You're confident. You've seen.
Yeah.
What about the refurb? How much is the refurb going to cost?
I think it's about 3 to 4 grand. We, just ironing out all the small technicalities of it, but it's
fire doors and things like that.
Yeah, fire doors.
So it's like £19,000 deposit, A few £1,000s for the refurb, a few £1,000s for stamp duty. So we're talking like about 26 grand all in.
Yeah. Not
26
much.
grand in, renting out for 1,400. Out of that 1,400, how much of that's profit?
I think we've got about 700 or 800 profit.
So have you worked out? So hold on, let me work this out right now live. So if you're going to invest 26,000, you're going to make, call it 700 a month times 12. That's 8,400. Divide that by 26 grand. That's giving you a 32.3% return on investment, which is that definitely deserves a high five.
Yeah, definitely.
Boom. And of course you're going to be keeping me posted on how the deal goes.
Yeah, definitely, of course.
When it's rented out, let me know. We can bop a bottle of champagne. But you've got multiple properties going through.
Yes. So
and half of the profit you're getting to keep.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Just for doing the work.
Yeah.
But I tell you what though, if you're able to find deals that good, and you've made all this happen, then I think you deserve half.
Yeah, definitely.
What advice would you give to other young 21-year-olds?
Don't let anything stop you. Generally view things, you might view things generally as a problem, but if you don't view it as a problem, instead you view it just as a challenge.
When you say a challenge, what you mean is instead of saying, oh no, that can't be done, you're saying, oh, obstacle? How do we get around it?
Yeah, so you might have a fear of talking to sort of estate agents or something like that, and you feel they won't take you seriously because of your age. If you might view that as like a problem in a sense, but really if you view it as a challenge, it's a challenge to go and speak to this estate agent and I'm worried they won't take me seriously. View it as a challenge, it's easier to overcome it. And then, I always think that if I view things as challenges, it's easier to overcome them. So like the ant trying to get around something, it's a challenge. If you view it as a problem, you can have like a mind block and just think, I can't do it, and then you sort of shut off.
I love that, bro. What's it been like working with me?
It's been brilliant, yeah. So lots of good events. I mean, DFE, PPE, all those kind of things. He's given me a great amount of detailed information from loads of different good trainers, obviously including yourself, the majority yourself. But
well, thanks. Have you kind of like? What do you think of the friends that you've made along the way? Because I know you've made a lot of good, like even like Alistair and people like just a lot of good friends. I mean, how's that been? James, the guys.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the academy, you say it from the stage, you sort of preach it. It is kind of like a family. Yeah. So we all look out for each other and help each other. So like for instance, the first PIC meeting I went to. Anne Mather gave me a lift home back to Sheffield.
And Anne Mather's awesome.
Yeah, she was going back up to Middlesbrough and she realised...
She's also financially free.
Yes, she's doing great. But it's just that kind of support. Obviously, I don't have a car. I would have been about 3 trains to get back. And I got back at like 1 a.m. or something. And just a bit depressing, really. So she was like, oh, John, I can give you a hand. And brought me back. The other night, I stayed at... when I came to help at one of the crash courses, I stayed at Alistair's house. So he was like, oh, I can help you out, and then I can drive you there in the morning, help you out. And
I mean, just having friends with all these people that are financially free. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, your life right now, you still living in a house share?
I've just moved into the accommodation for my 3rd year, and it is still a house share, yeah.
Yeah, but you're living in a house share, you don't drive, your life appears to be like a typical 21-year-old.
Yeah.
But it isn't, because you've got these properties going up in value, this cash flow coming in, which I know you're saving and you're putting it towards other houses, so that when you leave uni in a year's time, you're never going to have to work a day in your life. I mean, it's not luxury, but it's freedom.
Definitely, yeah. We just got to keep propelling it.
And your heart is big, and it's just a real pleasure to know you. So thanks so much, John.
That's right. Thank you.
You know what? If you're watching this and you've got questions for John, if you post below, I will badger him to answer all the questions and comments below on this video. Are you up for that?
Yeah, definitely.
So John's going to be personally on this video, watching it, answering the comments. I will be as well. So John, thanks for coming on the show, bro.
That's right. Thanks
Peace out. Let's go and have a good day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. If you benefited from that video, please do share it with your family and friends. For more videos like it, you can watch right here. And if you'd like to spend 2 days with me at the Property Investors Crash Course, watch this video, see what happens. But whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe right here, and I'll see you next time.